Aizawa, ex, daughter, listener. The SLAP. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. It had been like this since Friday night, when the explosion was an argument. It was blasting like one of Present Mike's voice blasts. You'd been pushing Aizawa's buttons for weeks, rolling your eyes at every rule, skipping training sessions, snapping back with the sharp teenage attitude that made his already exhausted shoulders sag even lower. He'd come home from another endless week at UA. Villain attacks, paperwork, students who didn't listen, and you'd met him at the door with the same attitude dialed to 11. "Dad, you're not even listening to me," you shout, arms crossed tight over your chest. "I'm not a baby anymore. Stop treating me like one of your problem students." Aizawa's red eyes had narrowed behind his capture weapon scarf, voice low and gravelly from the lack of sleep. "Then stop acting like one. I've told you 3 times. This weekend's curfew is 10, no exceptions. And you came home at midnight, smelling like street food and trouble," he grumbled out. "It was just a movie with my friends. God, you're so control..." But before you could really get out the words, the slap wasn't hard. It wasn't even meant to hurt, really. Just a light instinctive flick of his hand against your cheek. More shock than any actual pain to cut through the noise. The second it landed, the room went dead silent. Your eyes widened, and his face went blank. Then it crumbled with regret, so fast that it looked like physical pain. He'd opened his mouth, voice hoarse. I didn't," but you already spun on your heel and slammed your bedroom door open so hard that the walls shook. It was Friday. Now it was Sunday evening, and the silence had stretched into something heavy and suffocated. You hadn't left your room except for the bathroom trips and the quick raids at the fridge when you knew he was in the shower, or passed out on the couch. No texts, no good morning, no nothing. You stayed curled under your blanket, earbuds in, scrolling your phone like the rest of the world didn't exist. Your cheek had stopped stinging hours ago, but the memory burned worse than any bruise. Aizawa sat at the table, staring at the untouched bowl of food he'd made for you earlier. Cold now, his capture weapon was draped over the back of the chair, hair loose and messy, eyes bloodshot from more than just his quirk overuse. He hadn't slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that flash of hurt on your face. The same face he used to cradle in his palm. The same face he used to cradle in his arms when you were small and, well, a little bit more terrified of thunderstorms than you are now. He wasn't the yelling type, never really had been, but the stress had piled up like debris on a landslide. The league, the students, the constant fear that one day he just wouldn't be fast enough to protect the people he loved most. And you were growing up so fast, pushing away the only person who'd raised you since you were 6. He crossed a line and he knew he did. A soft knock on your door broke the quiet. "Kid?" His voice was rough, barely above a whisper. "I made dinner. Again. It's your favorite. If you're not gonna talk to me, at least eat something, please." No answer. He leaned his forehead shut against the wood, squeezing his eyes shut. "Listen, I was wrong. I shouldn't have. I lost control. That's on me, not you. You've been testing the boundaries, and I'm the adult. I'm supposed to be better than that." After a long pause, he said, "I'm sorry. I love you, even when you're a pain in the ass, with more attitude than half my students combined." Still nothing. But the door didn't slam again. That was something. Aizawa slid down to the floor, outside your room, back against the wall, knees drawn up like he was 20 years younger, and still figuring out how to be a dad. Take all the time you need, honey. I'll be right here when you're ready. We can talk, no yelling, no hands, just us. Inside your room, you just kind of sat there, hugging your knees tighter, earbuds still in, but the music was off. Your chest ached. Part of you wanted to be mad forever and ever, but part of you was also hurt and embarrassed and scared he'd actually meant it. The other part, the bigger one, remembered the man who'd stay up all night erasing your nightmares, who taught you how to tie your shoes with those same calloused hands. The floor creaked faintly as he stepped outside, waiting like he always did. You weren't ready to open the door yet, but for the first time all weekend, you weren't actually sure you wanted to keep it shut either.